Hello everyone, let me lower the camera a little bit. Welcome back to NCAA Football 14. Now normally I don't stream the same game twice in a row. I try not to. Dogs immediately start barking right after I turn on my mic. It's like they know. But I normally don't stream the same game twice in a row, but sometimes there are certain circumstances that lead me to doing such a thing. Well, today's one of those days, because EA Sports is back in the college football game. Notice I said college football and not NCAA football. That's an important distinction. As you can see, we are ranked 9th. We're facing Utah. We shouldn't have any trouble with them. It's the home unis that I like, yeah. The roads are the ugly ones, I think. Yeah, because they're like white road unis. It's dumb. But no, so big announcement today. The game's not gonna come out for probably not till, my guess would be 2023 at this point, because of the new consoles. Because think about it, if they're developing the game now, they don't want to develop it for PS4 and Xbox One. They don't. They want to develop it for the new consoles. Well, the install base isn't there. The game didn't sell well enough to come out on multiple consoles. So, quite frankly, in terms of last gen or new gen, they're going to go new gen all the way. So my guess is not next season, but the season after. So, there's that. By the way, if you missed last time our loss to UCLA, got a 990 ESPN Classic game score, which I think 1,000 is the max. So you literally cannot have a more interesting game if you tried, pretty much. So I would be interested to see though what it would take to get 1,000. But my God, it was awful. An awful ending. Nothing we could do about it. Something we could have done about it, but we lost. So it is what it is. Luckily, we've been beaten up on our other opponents, and I'll play a couple games today. But it's going to be very interesting to see how the marketplace reacts to the college football video game. Because at the end of the day, career modes in games, for example, like, they've kind of gone away from that. And they've also gone away from Dynasty modes and franchise modes. So, oh wow, UCLA. If UCLA beats us and they beat Oregon, that's, I mean, that would be insane, but good for them, I suppose. It would also suck if they don't lose to anyone else. Oh my God, they're up 13-14 nothing. Good year. 13. Utah's not good this year. Not that good. Let's do that. We know they're going to pass the ball at this point. It wasn't offsides.
He's in trouble.
Ooh, hit as he threw, but he got his man. He had to come back like 10 yards, but nothing much you can do there.
The offensive line does a nice job of picking it up, and the quarterback makes the throw for this first down.
But yeah, so it's going to be interesting. The fact that it's EA Sports College Football, this is something EA was planning on doing for a while until there was enough uproar. So after NCAA 14, they had actually had a licensing deal with the CLC, which is most college teams, this collegiate licensing company. So they're able to use all the logos and stuff and all the team names and things. So that's not an issue. The thing is, no NCAA license. And they really don't need it. They just can't use official terms like the college football playoff or the, I guess BCS back in the day, but So there are certain things that they won't be able to use terminology-wise because of NCAA rules. First.
Love to watch quarterbacks on third down.
So that's going to be an interesting thing.
As far as their psyche and their
but I will say, I think that it's good that the game's coming back, but at the same time, it's going to be a lot of development costs. It's not just, you can't just assume that it's going to be a reskin of Madden, but that's kind of... So what it ended up being, it was a testing ground for Madden a lot of times, the old college football games. They would implement something in these games, and then after it worked out, they would put it into Madden, or they wouldn't. And so they were able to kind of make more changes and be a little more, because the team was a lot smaller, be a little more rigorous with certain things, so that's cool. But also, I think, like, I mean, it's complicated. A lot's changed in the past 8 years, plus, by the time we get to when this game would actually come out.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
And a face mask, seriously?
So the offense will move a little bit
The fact that
closer
it's a
with that
college
penalty.
football game, I mean, like, look, they're not going to have real player names in it, at least not now. Anything that happens with the NIL stuff or anything, whatever. The O'Bannon stuff, they're essentially just tiptoeing around it. What they're doing is they're saying, oh man, we should have tackled him in the back.
And they get nice yardage on that roll. Wilson.
What they're essentially saying, they're essentially saying, NCAA, we don't need you. They're just going around the NCAA. So the O'Bannon stuff is irrelevant. It's essentially like saying, I'm going to make a Harry Potter football video game with stuff like the book names from Harry Potter or something like that. That's all that it is. It's just taking a license and applying it to something. That's simple as that.
The defense gets their fourth chance to make a stop here on third down.
I'm not missing anything. Let me make sure. Okay, I'm not missing anything. Great. Oh my god, they got a touchdown. Clearly that I missed. So that sucks. But it is what it is, I suppose. So yeah, there's a lot to digest on this. The fact that it is not an NCAA affiliated game means that the NCAA hasn't given it their blessing.
Let's go to the studio for this Reese Davis
That's
update.
an interesting little wrinkle to it. 21-7.
The Bruins unleash their area
If UCLA beats Oregon and Oregon State, that'd be just nuts in the same year.
As his kick team lined up, and he is set to kick this one off. Taylor takes it at
Taylor's
the
our second
He's out to the
guy,
30,
yeah.
and down he goes. at the
24 is
32.
fine. I was hoping
Oregon
Captain
State's
would get it.
offensive staff, they really build
Johnson had a
things
really
around
good
this
game
guy,
last year.
and they
He's
know
only a
that they can be
junior. I thought he
confident
was
in
a
what he can
senior.
do all game long.
Yeah, I think they trust
good that he's
all
back
of
next
his
season.
abilities. And the big thing also is he
Let's
avoids
run the
those
ball. It's
silly
raining.
mental mistakes.
Don't need to go
He's
crazy
not
here.
Line up in the wrong position. He's not
But yeah,
gonna
there's a
turn
lot to
More importantly,
digest
he's
with
not
that
gonna
game, as
miss
I keep
out
saying.
on a blitz on
I mean,
pass protection. So
it's a
he's
big and
really just a
important
total
announcement,
package,
don't get me
very
wrong.
consistent, very reliable running
But
back
it's
in this
also
game.
not
Oregon State's got a guy
what
that
you think it
statistically
is.
leading the
There's a
conference
lot
right now,
of development
and
time
he
that would
has
have to
got
go
the
in there.
attention of
I'm
everybody
sure
in
they
the
can
country,
share
including the
assets with
coordinator.
Madden and certain things with Madden, but it's not going to be
It's second down now.
it's not going to be a straight reskin. The issue is 2 football video games a month apart. Are people going to buy them like that? People don't buy Madden like they used to.
It's picked
Oh
up
my
by
god.
the offense.
It's a good job of securing the fumble and avoiding a turnover.
At least we didn't turn it over. Well, it's not good. Let's try passing it out
The
to the
Beavers running
sideline.
back taken out
Oh,
early on
good.
the sideline
And
with
Will
that injury.
Johnson's
However, it looks like he's
just
gonna be able to
even
come back in
better.
this game.
Perfect. We got the first down.
He's
Thank you,
tackled
Vic
around the
Chase.
48-yard line.
Great effort here by the wideout to
Take
secure the
21
ball
there.
and pick up some extra yardage.
Re-injury risk is low. Let's just keep him in the game. I'm not too concerned there. Quick base. Let's do that. It's
It's
1
first and
quarter,
10.
so it should be.
Ball
Oh
on
no, there's
48.
Johnson back. Okay. Okay, make a move a little. 5 yards is fine. If the re-injury risk is low, it's not a big deal. He probably just, something small. There are certain things like that they have to change. Big hits can't exist. Recruiting's going to have to change compared to what it was. And certain terms just can't be used. They've thought it over. EA's very smart, so... Wow, I didn't even... That wasn't even close. I'm not that worried about it. Like, I think EA knows what they're doing. They wouldn't make this announcement if they didn't have a game that was already in some sort of pre-production at least. That has a tentative release date of sometime next year. I still don't know who's gonna pay and buy two football games a month apart that are $70 a piece. And then the thing is, though, if you're gonna say that it's a $30 experience, the college game, I mean, what are you gonna actually innovate or do or have? That's another part of the problem. Madden doesn't sell like it did 15-ish years ago. It doesn't sell like it did in that, like, what was that, the 7th or 6th generation of consoles? It just doesn't. It's not as big of a draw. Granted, EA makes plenty of money from it because of the card collecting stuff, because of the Ultimate Team stuff. And I bet you a college football Ultimate Team mode would be really good if you can mix in recruiting and get creative with it. I'm sure that it would be very popular and well liked. That's why EA's doing it, because they don't. I mean, they know that it won't sell a ton of copies, but if they get enough whales, what does it matter? They'll rake in money because there'll be a handful of people who will be really devoted to buying stuff whenever they see some sort of cool blue diamond football or whatever. Vic Chase has caught like every pass of mine. So that's good.
The extra point to tie this game up.
Good. Tied it up. Easy enough.
And he tacks on the extra point.
But so the game is going to be really interesting.
Let's get you up to date on what's going on in Los Angeles. Let's take yet another peek at this game. And for Oregon, we've got a little drama starting to unfold right now.
I would like to see UCLA win that game. That would be huge.
Oregon State to kick.
This should end up on like the 2. Oh no, 4. Okay.
He'll return it from the 4-yard line.
How about we get him down? Thank you. 18-yard return. Man, their return game has not been good. Instead of getting greedy on defense here, I should just try and actually play real defense and not just send everyone half the time because we're more talented. We are, but instead of having to, freak out about it, let's just do things like that. We just ran a normal defensive play.
Linemen closing in on him because they were able to slip off of their blocks. Really, there's nothing he could do at all there. That was more of a miscommunication, getting overmatched up front by the offensive line.
So, I mean, it'll be cool that the NCAA, the college football video games will be back. I like it. I've tended to like it more than Madden, and the people who are big fans of this series, does it take 7 dudes to get this guy down? Took only 1 when he was running the ball, but apparently he makes a catch, and suddenly we have to go crazy. Oh, they got us with the read option.
Nice run there.
Not good. I mean, it's going to be interesting, needless to say, when there are 2 football video games. I almost wonder if they'd be better off making college football not an annual release, but a single game that is a service. Because I'm telling you right now, honestly, they could make it a free game and make a lot of money. Because if you say, okay, export your draft classes to Madden, that gives people a reason to buy Madden. You have an Ultimate Team on there. And then you update it and things, every year a little bit here and there. You can still make a ton of money. Maybe it's $20 or $30 for the Dynasty mode or the Road to Glory mode or something, but the main Ultimate Team thing wouldn't be too, that's going to make the money. For example, NBA Live still exists. Not as a console game, but it exists NBA Live Mobile that I think has done very well. It's not a bad playing game either, or bad looking. It's free. You don't have to spend money to get a fair bit of enjoyment out of it. Okay, we got like 16. We'll take it. So there's that to think about too. I'm sure that EA is thinking of everything. Maybe this is the game that EA Play. It's just a free game for everyone with EA Play. Suddenly you have people buying the subscription model, which then leads to them potentially buying more of these games. Oh, nice catch by Adams. Nice pass too. I mean, I'd play the new one, but like I said, it's not going to be for probably 2 years. It won't come out. Because why would they release at any time when realistically releasing on the PS4 and Xbox One would be a consideration that could anger fans? That was not smart. I hit the wrong button. I meant to go to circle. Instead, I went to... I mean, technically all the buttons are circular. It's just that that one has a circle icon on it. So there's that. I mean, look, I like NCAA football. I've bought plenty of it over the years. I bought plenty of Madden over the years. But I didn't buy Madden this year. I don't know that having an NCAA football game would have changed that. I don't know that I would have bought an NCAA football game this year, or a college football game. 28-21 UCLA, let's go.
3rd and 12.
Let's run 4 verts and get a first down here. Going right to Chase, right across the middle. Watch. Whoop! Oh, no.
Almost intercepted. Nice play by the defense to bring up 4th
They
down.
knew me.
Instead of going for the
I also shouldn't have rifled it. I should have done like a higher pass. I'm sorry, what now? Why am I not kicking a field goal? 48 yards? Let's do it.
The kicker comes out. He'll try to put 3 points on the board.
See if we can make a 48-yarder here.
Oregon State could take the lead with this field goal.
Oh, there's a chance. Oh, it's just short.
Time for an update from the studio. Reese, what have you got?
Time for a clash.
I thought we had it.
Style in the Pac-12. This one's been entertaining us all day long.
I really thought we had that.
Have the perfect connection and a
Whoever's
touchdown.
calling me from Oklahoma.
This is the point in the game where you don't want to make any mistakes that give the other guys a reason to feel more confident going into halftime.
Good tackle.
But he's tackled back behind the
-1.
line. A 1-yard loss.
Not much going on there. Those kind of plays will not work against this defense. You can be sure of that.
So there's a lot to it. I mean, look, I like these games, but at the same time, they're not.
Gets out to around the 38.
They're not the sellers they once were. It's still. I mean, everything that EA does is about. EA Sports does nowadays is about the ultimate team. Period. Oh my God! They almost clicked.
Well, the defense stood tall there.
Well, the defense did what they had to do to get 3 and out, and now get the
Return a
offense
punt.
back on the field.
Hopefully, get into field goal range to take a lead before halftime.
Kaplan will be the return man.
Okay. Okay, he just
Bring him
ran
down
right
at the
12
36.
yards is fine.
Both offenses have played it pretty close
Trying
to
to
the
live with
vest
that.
so far in this one.
Yeah, because they've been so conservative,
just
it's
can't
made it
get
pretty
sacked.
easy for
Let's
both of these
do-
defenses to be pretty dominant.
Yes,
Let's see an
coach.
offense
Let's
open it up and
do
take a
not
few
4
chances.
verts. Okay, fine. We'll do 4 verts.
You always want to go in the locker room with momentum, so as we get
Do
closer
4
to
verts with
halftime,
Horn.
I think we'll see more and more attempts to
Probably gonna
create
catch
big
it.
plays.
Oh my God! Again, they keep reading this play really well. I'm like surprised. I want something where I can actually get some yardage here. Let's do bunch flood.
From their
Thinking
own
that may work out
36-yard
okay.
line, it's 2nd down.
Either I'll get it to square guy or I'll get it to X. One or the other. Square it is.
He's at midfield, and they make the
Okay,
stop
let's
at
do
the
know how to
49.
do it. I bet you we can get it off without using a timeout to play. Just regular verticals, why not? No need for 4 of them. I mean, technically we can have 4, but okay. Oh, that was... I left that up there. I did not... That one I should have rifled. But it's okay. We got 20 yards. What, only you guys can do, no huddle? Really? Okay. Good move. Good move, Johnson. 8 yards. We'll take it. We will take it. I don't want to run 4 verts again, because it's not really been doing me too well. Let's do smash.
So it's 2nd down and about 2 yards to go.
Have a minute and all 3 timeouts. We're in the red zone. Not too concerned. Ooh, that's a little dangerous.
This quarterback has got to do a better
dangerous.
job of looking off defenders and allow his covered receivers some room to
Let's
improvise and get free.
Let's just get the first down and go from there. We'll call a timeout if we get it. And we will. J.R. Kaplan's going to make the catch more than likely. Okay, that was not when I should have thrown it. Let's just get him down and tackle him so that he's not going to do a pick 6. Okay. And Alex throwing a bunch of picks rears its ugly head once again.
1st and 10. Ball on the 41.
He's now at like 17 touchdowns and 12 picks this time. It's not great. Not great. Oh my god, the first 2 just missed him. He just tackled right next to the guy. Why not tackle the guy?
Was his first option, but he got in the ball and he was able to make something big happen.
You wonder how much the NCAA is going to push with the series, since it won't have their blessing and their license. I mean, that's a way to get around the players anyway, but it's still an interesting
That's a great tackle at the 44-yard line.
The defense just met the blockers head on and drove them back straight into the runner.
Yeah, their running game has not been good. Let's do cover 6.
From the 44-yard line. 2nd down. Going deep.
Oh, man.
No, incomplete.
Thank God.
Sure, it's disappointing, but this is the kind of
I was a little concerned that they were going to complete that, because that guy was open. Wide open. As long as we stop him here, we could get the ball back before halftime. Still all 3 timeouts. Oh, it's a screen.
And he hauls that one in.
Oh, good. They didn't get it. Andy went out of bounds. Even better. UCLA's still up by a touchdown on Oregon, so that's interesting. Oh, they're going for it. Alrighty, let's do cover 4.
4th down, and the offense is
There's
still
no
on
way
the
they'd be
field.
stupid enough to run it with the way they've been running the ball. Okay, well, they were stupid enough to run it, and they ran it for enough.
Yard line. So with that run, they pick up another
Darn.
first.
Just a nice job again up front by the offense.
I'm going to be trailing at half.
They're doing a good job of neutralizing the defensive front, and it's allowed them to move the ball down the field.
They're going to spike it? No, they're going to want an actual play here.
He heaves it to the end
Oh,
zone.
yes, pick!
It's the senior corner.
The defense
Nice.
cranked up the heat there. Give
Just
those
jumped
guys
right
all
in
the
front of
credit
it.
for forcing a desperation pass.
Ooh, nice. Done. So that's a touchback. Oh, no, I'm not running the ball. Why would you think I'm running the ball here? I'm gonna... Not Hail Mary. I'll at least do... Hail Mary only gives me Hail Mary. So let's do a shotgun pass. Let's do... that one. We have 22 seconds left. And all 3 timeouts. There is no reason that we cannot get some yardage here. Ooh, I thought he was going to get that. 6 of 13 is not good. Not good. Still going to do shotgun pass. Let's do 4 verts here. Let's see, are they finally going to not cover the guy up the middle? Because if they do, maybe I can actually go to one of the other guys. Okay, yeah, he's open. Oh, let's go. Let's go, Chase. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. We're scoring before halftime. Thank you very much. Suddenly we have 200 passing yards. That was a nice play.
That's his second touchdown catch.
And a great awareness by the quarterback.
New NCAA record longest pass. Cool. It's a big highlight. Right before halftime, especially. We'll take it. Let's make the extra point and then not have to worry.
He splits the uprights with the extra point. Let's get an update now. Here's Reese Davis. Reese.
Part of the new college football game, I do want to also add, is that it's a branding play. Plain and simple. The fact of the matter is, it's EA Sports Betting that they don't need NCAA football.
And he makes it out to about the 47-yard line.
They don't need NCAA in the name. They can just call it college football, and everyone knows what that is. And it makes sense.
Momentum swings have been fairly even, and with so little separation,
should be good here. Just
drastically changed on just one or two.
they're probably going to run the ball.
Let's see if a quarterback heaves it up there, and one of his guys can come down with it.
Nope. Oh yes, pick. Oh my God, is it going to be a pick six? Oh my God, pick six to end the half.
He's all the way home. Touchdown.
Woo!
So a great play by the defender to give his team 6 points.
That was a very good play.
They almost dropped it.
Certainly helped build his team's
Hey, we'll
momentum.
take it. Woo-wee. It's funny, 20 seconds ago, we were tied. Now we're up by 14, and we get the ball back. And that prevent defense is doing us some good.
Don't go anywhere, folks. It looks like we might have a pretty good game on our hands after all. The Beavers lead it by 2 touchdowns.
You know what, I'll try
Reese
return.
David,
Why
thanks,
not?
guys. Just about set to start the 3rd quarter.
Okay, good Kaplan, let's go.
He'll take it from the 2.
Ooh, man, he made the first guy miss, but the second guy was right there. It is what it is. At this point, we could, if we really wanted to, try and just burn out the clock. That's not what we're going to do because we're at home, and I think we need to get there's like 250 passing yards, 100 receiving yards, or 100 rushing yards or something. So, a lot, needless to say. 8 of 15 passing for 215 yards. Kinda nuts. Kinda nuts. Oh no, it was those couple of plays before halftime put me in a phenomenal mood. Okay, follow your blockers. There aren't any, so 1 yard. Great. Try this. Thinking Johnson will end up open, and that'll be good. If not, yeah, Johnson's open. Great, that's first down.
And he tackles him hard at the 47.
So we're 229 passing yards.
Corner and the offense
Cool.
picks up the blitz. It's one less guy the quarterback has to worry about in coverage.
running,
Nice read
obviously.
by the quarterback to keep the drive
I
going.
should still wait a few seconds and actually take more time off
From
the
the
clock.
47-yard
There's
line.
no need for
It's
people.
first down.
Drink a little bit of water, relax, not stress. Oh, good stuff. Johnson getting more than
Gains
a
his way to the
first. 17 I
30-yard line.
think. Nice. 42 rushing yards. We'll take it. I mean, I am going to just run the ball a lot. The problem is we have a bunch of negative yards from the sack,
First
so
down, 10 to go.
a little less than
Ball on the 30.
42. Ooh, that's going to be, wow, caught and yards after the catch. I thought that was going to be picked because I passed it so poorly it looked like, but Taylor came back and caught it. I mean, look at that pass. It looks like it's going right to 11. But no, 11 was confused. Let's do jet sweep. Why not? Haven't run that in a hot second.
They'll line up with 5 wide receivers.
Oh, Horn in for the score. 6 yards. Now it's 28-7. Well, will be in a second here. Suddenly, we're just going to pile it on. I mean, remember when it was 7-7 like 2 minutes of game time ago?
He makes the PAT.
We scored with like 8 seconds left in that. Squid kicked it. 38-28. Wow. UCLA's going to win. That's huge. Big for us. It makes our loss to UCLA look a lot less bad.
Excellent kick.
I mean, I would assume touchback here. Yeah.
This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback.
Might as well. So having a college football game also doesn't mean that EA will have a college basketball game.
It's going to be interesting now to see if this quarterback
that game was not forced out of the marketplace by the licensing and the NCAA's ruling. No, it was, okay, can we tackle him? Thank you.
Down he goes around the 42-yard line.
That game just didn't sell well. It's part of why College Hoops 2K8 is the last 2K college basketball game. Look at how huge NBA 2K is. They have some little college pieces here and there, but it didn't sell well enough to college games. Partly because the game's probably about $20. Or would be about $20 by the time people would actually start caring, which is March Madness. Well, at that point, it's $20, and then it's like, okay, great. Versus, like I said, I could really see them adding the college football game as an EA Play something. And you do that, suddenly everyone with Xbox Game Pass gets it. Suddenly people are buying it on PlayStation or PC. And suddenly, it's, a value play there, because for $5 a month or $60 a year, look what you're getting. You're getting that game, which could be a game as a service, which is what we've all been expecting things to go to. I mean, it's also possible that because it's a mobile game and not a console game, that they wouldn't even have to worry about any of that. So if it's a freemium mobile game and you're just collecting and it's like, oh, you really want to buy this school's uniforms and this school's logos? Cool, cough up $5. Cough up 10 if you want the whole conference or something. Otherwise, you're just going to have OSU and you're not going to know which OSU or anything. It's just going to be like random, just like plain old scarlet and gray. Wow, I almost threw a pick again. That would not have been good. Just totally the wrong guy to go to. Wrong read. Let's run.
Second down and 10 to go.
Let's see if we can get a few yards here. Oh, nope. We did not get any. We got -1. Great. Wonderful. Let's try that play because I bet you the seam will be open, and I bet you I'll be able to get it to Johnson again. Just like I did last time when I ran this play. Oh, he's not open. He wasn't even close to open. But I felt some pressure on him, so had to get rid of it.
But that pass was a little too out in front of him.
Let's just regular punt. I'm not worried about max cover or max anything else. Let's make this.
They look like they've got the block on, and this offensive line's got to give him some time.
3 and out's not ideal. Oh, fair catch, you. Okay. Not a bad punt. Let's do
Their
that.
last drive resulted in a punt, so let's see if they can put together something a little more promising
Like I said,
here.
I'm
If they're
just...
going to make a comeback in this
It's
game,
a big
it's gonna
deal,
have to start
but
now.
not
This offense has to get rolling.
as big of a deal
He's at midfield. He's at the 40.
as some people want to make it out to be.
Finally goes down
There will not be a
at the
college
30.
football game
This back
coming out
might
this
need a breather after
EA's
that
already
run.
said
But
it.
when he comes back, just give it to him again.
Will there be one coming out next year? Again, I doubt it. I think that NCAA, like, college football is probably going to be treated similar to NHL, where they have a game, it's a smaller team, they do some stuff, but they took an extra year of that game before putting it on the new consoles last time we had a generation change. And then they just totally abandoned the old consoles when they did that. So there's no old console anything. So if you are someone with, you know, who's buying, you know, if you're someone with a PS4 or Xbox One, you never had a college football game, so you don't have to worry about a college football game. It's one of those that that's why I'm surprised that PGA Tour 2K released when it did. The only reason, though, being that it's essentially the golf club. That's why they were able to kind of get away with it, because the infrastructure was already there on the same consoles. But I don't know that PGA Tour 2K22 releases on PS4 and Xbox One.
Then the quarterback is going to have a tougher time.
I don't know that it should. Maybe it will. I mean, I would think that would be a cross-gen thing, but the team that's making that game, it's not a... oh, he missed it! Doink!
Let's go to the studio for this Reese Davis update.
Time to check out what's going on in LA.
38-35. Okay, so it's close. That's going to be a close one.
Oregon,
Let's run some play action. I'm feeling good about that on first here.
For a potential upset.
Let's be
We're about
bold.
set to start things up again.
Ooh, I got sacked too soon. Nothing I could do about that. I tried throwing the ball. I had an open man, but it is what it is. We'll try the seam play again.
Another sack in this second down and long situation.
Wide open he is. Yeah. We got the first. Oh, man. Let's go. Let's go, Johnson. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Outrun him. Oh. Oh, man. I thought we were going to outrun him and get the touchdown. 64 works. Well, to end the quarter.
Oregon State's got a 3-touchdown advantage.
Take it. So now we run the ball. Because we have more than 250 passing yards. 317 is a pretty good game.
In the gun with 5 wide receivers.
And now we can run the ball a little.
He's tackled at the 20.
He's fine. Another 2-3, another 2-3 eventually. Maybe we get to 100 yards if we're lucky. I'll even try the read option. I hate running the read option. Anyone who's watched me stream this game before knows this. Yeah, I should have kept it.
And they make the stop around the
Shows
22-yard line.
Well, give the defense all the credit here. They had that one snuffed out from the start.
So it's
it could have been an even bigger loss.
It's a lot there. Now the timing is interesting. I mean, partly because I'm assuming that EA announced this probably because they have an investor call coming up, some sort of something with that. That's one of the only reasons you make an announcement for a game that's essentially theoretical. Chase has to have some ridiculous number of receiving yards today. 5 for 155 and 2 touchdowns. We'll take it.
It's first down.
And yes, we are going to run
for
again.
6 points here.
Good block. Oh, come on.
Up the middle
Thought he could have gotten me.
Johnson picks
Instead,
up
he was
about
stood
7
up.
yards on the halfback counter play.
We're on the 2. I think we should be able to get 2 yards. enough. Oh, Kaplan got the touchdown. Okay. Not Johnson. So we have 2 rushing TDs. Neither of them are by our star running back. Got it. He still has like 50 rushing yards, so that's good.
Reese Davis is standing by with this update. Reese.
The Ducks roll into today's
Oh, Oregon won. Barely.
And for Oregon, their perfect season is still alive.
You know, we
like he's ready to kick this
we
one
scored
off.
late. We could have been like that. But it doesn't always happen that way.
He'll return it from the 1.
That's actually tackling.
And he
Thank
makes it
you.
out to about the
23. That's I think his
24-yard line.
longest return of the day. Which is saying something, because 23 is not that much for a kick return.
I don't expect any once-in-a-lifetime rallies here, but that being said, we could still see some exciting plays.
Oh,
And it's knocked away.
Barnett. I think he's the one with the pick 6, maybe? I don't know, we have 2 picks as a team. Can't
For
remember
their own
everyone's name.
24-yard line. It's 2nd down.
So in my free time, I do want to say, though, something I have done, speaking of names, I feel like I'm on a first-name basis now with the Seattle Storm players.
Complete. Brought down.
Because on 2K, I don't know why, like, I didn't really want to get into my GM. I haven't started one. I don't know why, I just haven't. They pretty much left the last-gen versions in the dust with a lot of things. Like, Start Today never was enabled despite there being a season. So that's kind of frustrating. And some other things as well in the last gen that it's just like a little... Why can't you just do a little something for these people?
3 to go in regulation.
I mean, yeah, you have the next gen, but your bigger install base is going to be on the current gen. It's just a fact.
Tackle made around the 36-yard line.
But that's what 2K decided to do. So maybe I'll do a My GM at some point, but I decided to do the WNBA season. And I am having an absolute blast playing as the Seattle Storm. Now, granted, it helps that they have a former MVP, a future Hall of Famer, and some other really good talent.
And once again, they'll
That's
come to the
very
line and
helpful.
try to convert on 3rd down.
But still, I've enjoyed it. I shortened the game length to like 3-minute quarters so I can kind of knock them out really quickly.
Brought down
But
around the 49-yard
it's still
line.
fun. Plus, then I did normalizing stats, so it's like if I score 20 with a player, suddenly it looks like they have like 70. Which is hilarious. Like, some of the numbers are so messed up. Like, we're scoring like 160 a game or something ridiculous.
Gets out
Crazy.
to around the 38.
But it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. So it's like I'm surprised. It's like, oh yeah, I remember this player from college in the Final Four or something like that. Remember this player? Oh wow, that player's still in the league. Oh, I wonder whatever happened to them. Another pick for Barnett. That's his second.
Continuing to fight, continuing to try to compete. But
So I feel
another
like I'm on a first-name
interception,
basis
another
with all
miscue
of
for this
the
team. They're already getting blown out.
players
They've
of the
got no
Seattle
chance to
Storm
get
now
back in
because
the
it's
game.
like if they do something good, I'm like, yeah, that's right, Mercedes. That's right, Sue.
Ball on the 28-yard line.
And so it's been a lot of fun. Plus, it's a more fundamentals-driven game, and that's kind of how I already play 2K.
Decent pickup.
Because I understand that you have to have some motion off the ball. You want players to be open. You want to go inside out and things. So because I understand all of that stuff, I feel like that helps me a lot in the WNBA.
Oregon State.
So
looking
it's
to
been a
add
lot
to
of
this
fun.
Big lead here.
I really enjoyed it, and I like when I get the next gen one, and they have the W mode, or they have like if they ever have a WNBA franchise mode or my GM mode, that would be really cool, especially because it would be a totally different
So it's 3rd down, and they've
type
got about
of
2
game.
yards to go.
compared to. I'm gonna wait a few seconds here. Excuse me on the on. It'll be a totally different way of running a team because there are so many fewer teams. You could maybe be an expansion team in the league. That would be cool. I mean, there are some ways they could really do it that would make it really interesting. And then you have to figure out, I mean, the capology and the numbers and stuff, because at the end of the day, there are some players who won't play in the WNBA and will play in Europe because European leagues pay more.
from their own
to certain
41-yard
players.
line.
They just do.
First down.
And some players will give up playing in WNBA, or they'll play in the WNBA and then play in Europe, and then suddenly they get hurt in Europe, and what happens? So I think that would be really
Right
cool.
back to the run game, and this time he's met immediately.
So I would enjoy something like that. I mean, I don't know how far 2K is going to go on that aspect of things, but we'll see. I'll try the jet sweep again. Last time we ran it, we got a touchdown out of it. Granted, we were much closer to the goal line, so wait a few seconds and then... Let's see what we got here. Okay, we got... Oh, he's still up.
He makes it to the 42-yard line.
I will run a passing play. I will see what we can do about that. Shotgun pass. 4 verticals. If we complete it and there's time left, I'll call a timeout and try passing for the end zone.
Oregon State.
But I don't think there will be time left. Obviously, I'm going to throw it to Chase. If he's open. Oh, man. I went way deep with that and didn't... Whatever. 12-22 for 330. We'll live with that. 2 touchdowns and a pick. Still a pretty good game. Good line for him.
Just a total
I would hope that Chase would be the player of the game for us, at least offensively. It is, yeah. 5 receptions, 155 yards, 2 TDs. I mean, 2 picks is pretty good, too, from one of our corners, so that can't complain there. So, yeah. You wonder how much ESPN would be involved, or how much any of the other broadcasters would be involved with a new college football game. For example, you see ESPN broadcasters, ESPN branding. That's something. Well, Fox is trying to make a play for stuff, so you could see Fox Sports being interested, but I would think that any network that carries NCAA rights, which essentially would be ESPN, because they're the ones who really do a lot of NCAA-specific things, versus Fox does a lot of stuff with conferences. So I could see a Fox Sports partnership. ESPN has tended to be the ones that have partnered with them in the past, but Madden is kind of its own fresh thing. Mind you, both Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis were both college broadcasters before they were, and Madden ones and now NFL ones, for competing networks actually, which is really interesting. Oh good, I gained a level, so let's figure out what we want to add here. After the autosave is done. 35-7 win is a nice biggin. Hopefully that moves us up in the world. Let's see. Coach skill trees. It's all recruiting here. Kitchen sink. I'm thinking, we can either do the closer, kitchen sink. We'll definitely gain a level, so we'll be able to have an extra, so we'll be able to have more recruiting in the off season. I'm thinking let's do kitchen sink again, because even though we have 500 fewer recruiting points from starting this week on with the rest of the season, it'll work out for us, I think. It'll work out. But back to the ESPN thing, like Fox Sports probably will end up as the broadcaster in that college football game, because the NCAA will not take kindly to the college football playoff broadcaster working with this unlicensed game. So that's not going to happen. But I could totally see Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush in that pregame show, obviously not Urban Meyer, in that pregame show when Fox is branding on there, because Fox also wants to make some noise. And suddenly, if you're associating college football with Fox a little more, even though ESPN has all the rights, that's important. Like, think about it. I think, and I'm sure everyone else does, thinks of CBS a lot higher for college basketball than they are. The only games that they had for years were SEC stuff, a few other games here and there, the Big Ten championship game, and then the NCAA tournament. But because they have the NCAA tournament, you associate them with college basketball. And that's why in NCAA Basketball 10, suddenly it's ESPN and CBS in there. So that's something. Fox would be an interesting move because I don't think they have ever partnered with a video game like this. But Fox is not the same company it once was. They don't have any regional networks. They sold off a bunch of their business to Disney. So Fox partnering with EA could make some sense. Plus, maybe then you have them partner for Madden as well. Cool, we got a 70 receiver, a 69 receiver, a 68 defensive end. Okay, we didn't get that stupid tight end. Luckily, we have a bunch of recruits who we will want to get on our team. At number 21, Stanford. Should be a good matchup. We'll do recruiting. We'll play another game for sure on this stream. And then I think after another game or so, because I'll do about 2 hours, give or take. Wow, only 2,400 points allocated? How many dudes committed elsewhere? Or locked us out. Okay. Nothing we can do about that because we have nothing. We were locked out. Okay. Bye-bye. Remove you. Whatever. You are 68 overall tackle. I don't care about you. Let's just make sure that there's nobody else who locked us out or anything. Okay. 69 overall free safety. Bye-bye. You went to Boise State. Congratulations. Not too concerned. We have a lot of guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? We have half our stuff? Wow, that's pretty good. Plus, we'll be able to give more to players each week, which is even better. So let's start with the guys who are ready for a visit. Let's figure out when we want it. Okay, we can do a bye week or a bye week. So we'll take the other bye week because we get 300 extra points. Yes. You want to visit as well? Okay. Obviously, we do Oregon because that's a game week. Not that it matters because I don't even know if we've offered this dude a scholarship. And then you can visit Washington week because that's complimentary visits. So we passed the 1 hour mark. Awesome. Team needs 7. Oh, the tight ends. I need to just pick one of them to get on my team. I really don't care which one. I'll just give him 700 points so that I get him and that I don't have to worry about it. I just need a tight end. I don't care that he's bad. He's decent enough for us. You know, he's not going to play anyway. We'll get a better tight end at some point. Oh no, don't want to remove. I want to sort by overall, obviously, and up some people. You can go up to 700. You can go up to 700. Let's see, how close are we on these guys? Okay, we're in the lead by a fair bit. And ooh, he must have visited Utah there. Oh no, he hasn't visited Utah yet. That's a little concerning. We're gonna try and make up ground, but we can only make up ground as, you know, how much can we do it? Of course, that UCLA game that I thought was gonna be a big win wasn't. So that hurt us. Sure, fullback. Come on. Why not? 70 overall, can get another few points. Who did I give 5 points to? Why do I keep doing that? I'll find it when I get down here. Oh, you got 5. You don't need 5 points. Have I offered these people scholarships? I have offered you a scholarship, and I've offered you a scholarship. Alrighty. And you can get points. And you can get points. I haven't offered you a scholarship. I did offer him one, the corner. Probably because he's a pipeline guy. Sure. Are we number 1 with him? There's no way. He's a broken gem. I don't really want a broken gem, though, you know? He hasn't visited anywhere. He's just being slow and steady. We're so far behind with him, it's not worth it. He's in California, which isn't the worst thing. I'm trying to see if there's anyone else who we offered a scholarship to. Okay, defensive end. We did need a defensive end. Let's see if there's anyone who's like a gem. Not a broken one. I want like a legit gem. If there is one, that's who I'm gonna offer stuff to. These last 400 points. If somebody is like instead of a 48 or 54 or something. I mean, honestly, is there anyone else I could maybe add to the list for 400 points. It would then be 300 for them, but let's see. All prospects. Let's see if there's anyone left. Because we're targeting some guys, but also gotten a lot of dudes to lock in, which is good. And there's nobody who's we're going to be in first place with who's not on our list. I'm not getting a punter. I mean, screw it. We're in second place here. Why not? I don't really want to do kicker either. You know what? I'll add a few guys to the list, and then... Oh, never mind. I can add 2 guys. So, I'm not adding a 2-star quarterback. We're better than a 2-star quarterback, quite frankly. So let's add the 2 guys, scout them, and then someone's going to get 100 points. Maybe one of them, if one of them's a gem. We'll see, and then we'll play and go from there. So let's go to non-scouted. Let's see. Scouting. Okay, he's almost a gem. He's a little better than he was. I don't even know if I want to... Do I really need to sign another freaking punter? I mean... Why the hell not? He's a 79 overall punter. That's not bad. That's not terrible. We'll live with that. Let's go back to where we were. My positions. So right now, we have... Yeah, about half our scholarships are already out there. Like, signed players. Great. We have the #1 ranked recruiting class right now. Partly because, yes, we did sign a 1-star guy. I'm aware we signed a 1-star receiver, but I think he's the dude who's like a 70 instead of a 64, so that's okay. And then we have 4 4-stars, and we'll probably get a 5-star at some point. No team has multiple 5-stars yet. We're tied for the most 4-stars, and tied for second most 3-stars, so that's probably why we're #1. Yeah, if you don't sign anyone, you're not going to have a good recruiting class. That makes sense. So we're doing okay. I mean, if we bring in the #1 recruiting class, that's scary. Definitely scary. Let's see if I missed anything on that phone. A bunch of new podcast notifications. Those are important for me to get. So let's play at Stanford. Wait, we moved down? We won last week. Why did we move down in the polls? Oh good, there are BCS rankings out. That'll tell us that we're not doing well enough. Somehow we moved down despite beating Utah. Okay, I guess because UCF is undefeated. I guess that's an argument. Then the media poll were 8th. We were 8th. That's fine. BCS, we are 10th right now. Let's do some quick, napkin math here. Okay. They are in the same conference as them. So one of them will not be ahead of us. Great. So that's already 9th. We will beat Oregon, hopefully. And if we do, that's another one. Done. So that moves us up to 8th. Okay, so that's 8th in the BCS rankings. They're in the SEC. Oh, they're in the Big 12. They're in the Big 12 along with Oklahoma, so one of them will be gone. So that's 3 teams out. We know that there are 2 SEC teams, so that's 4. So that moves us up to 6th, based on the fact that there would be... Probably, let's just assume the top teams win. So Michigan, A&M, Oklahoma, Georgia Tech. That's 4 teams ahead of us, plus UCF, so we would be 6th, potentially. Best case scenario is 6th. But I don't think they're going to win out. I'm just looking to see what these overalls are for these teams. I mean, it's possible some of these teams lose twice, which would be big for us if they do. But, yeah, what does it say for championship contenders, I wonder? Okay, we get a B+. Man, they did not expect us to be good in 2 years. Next year they expect us to be solid, and then in 3 years they expect us to be really good. I'm not sure why, but okay. Let's load up the game against Stanford, at Stanford. They need to change our uniforms because I hate these road unis. Hate those road whites so much with a burning passion. I'd rather wear black on the road for us. Let's do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's see if I got anything notified that I need to worry about. I actually don't have class tonight, thank goodness. I had 2 hours of class yesterday, and then I have 2 hours of class tomorrow, and then 2 to 2.5 on Thursday. It's a lot. So, yeah. Oh, I was outbid on something, darn it. I was trying to bid something from Goodwill. Actually has its own version of eBay. If you go to their website, it's shopgoodwill.com. And so, if you go there, you can get stuff for relatively cheap, and it goes to Goodwill, so you feel kind of nice about it. I just happened to look at an item there that ended up being outbid on. I doubt that I'm going to spend any more money on it, so I'm not too concerned. Tails. Oh, sometimes does it really matter which side you defend? It really doesn't. Let's do return middle here. See if Kaplan can get some stuff going for us. Okay.
He'll take it from the 2.
Okay, decent return. 27 yards. We'll take it. Take it. Forvert's first play from scrimmage. Let's go. Go big or go home against the Cardinal. A big tree. Just remember, they are the Stanford Cardinal, not Cardinals. It's an important distinction. 23 yards to chase, at 155 last week.
At any level. Can they make a good throw under pressure?
Now we'll run the ball.
2 or 3 guys are coming right at him. I think this young passer has proven that yes, he can.
Between after the stream, I'm going to... Ooh, made the first guy miss, but the second guy was right there. 16 will take. Almost 500 yards. That's good. I don't think he's going to get to 1,000 this year unless we start really just pounding the ground and running the ball a ton with it. I can't see that happening. Not with the way that I like to pass the ball. Sometimes to my own detriment. See us against UCLA earlier this season. Washington, boom, 20 yards.
And that's what we were talking about earlier.
Absolutely nice pass play here. The quarterback
think we're making our way
throwing this one
downfield.
into coverage, but good accuracy and again, great timing on the throw.
As long as I don't throw interceptions, it's fine. Like I make enough completions now that I can make up for, you know, a low completion. So it's like if I complete, last week was like 12 of 22, about half my passes. Not great, but that's enough to get the job done. We can jet sweep here.
2nd down and 7 coming up here. Ball on the 10.
Let's do it. Oh, get a couple.
That's a great tackle at the 9-yard line.
Not good. Okay, slants or curls? Slants it is. Ooh, I feel the vibration. Controller's really trying to get me here. Okay, we got the first, didn't we? Yeah. Thank you.
Him up around 7 yards with that catch.
That's all I needed. Didn't need the touchdown right there.
Now
Now we can get the touchdown. And actually, we're going to try a quarterback run here. I don't run the ball enough with Davis. He's not that good. You know, that's why I don't run the ball with Davis.
Around the 3-yard line.
That was just smash mouth, helmet to chin football by the defensive line there. They dominated the point of attack.
Ooh, strong toss. I
Here's
like
the
that
8th
idea.
play of the series.
Fun story, when I got a PS3, I did not understand what L3 and R3 were. I was like looking for, what? L3, R3? What? Because I had never had a console before where the sticks clicked, which is something that's newer. Hey, Will Johnson scored a touchdown. That's good. We'll take it. PAT time. I'm hoping I'll be able to stream a little tomorrow. I need to see how much work I get done tonight, and then how much I also get done tomorrow during the day, and what else I have on the schedule. Because if that's, like, if I can get enough done, I'll stream tomorrow, and I'll probably stream MVP Baseball tomorrow, which will be fun. Yeah, that's going to be a touchback. Yep.
This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback.
I have to assume that this is the McCaffrey season.
Now the offense gets ready to take their first crack at it.
So, yeah. He's going to get the ball locked. And probably
Around 34.
If it's McCaffrey, it may not be. Ooh, interesting. They want us to do... Let's do goal line man. I like that
From their
idea.
own 34-yard line. Second down. They come out in a goal line set.
Stanford doesn't do any of the hurry-up stuff, which I like. Oh, yeah!
Down at the 31.
That is just a great play getting into the backfield. This guy is so quick that the ball carrier never had a chance.
Boom. Good stuff. I don't know if this was Harbaugh still at this point. I can't keep track of the years going back like 8 of them. I do wonder how much of the current games can be used for the new ones. I'm sure there are certain things in terms of logic that can be used, but the game's change. The read option's not as big of a deal like it once was. I mean, remember when Wildcat was a thing? That's how they implemented a lot of this stuff. It was like they wanted to make sure that it worked, because that was a big deal. -5 for him. Wow. 2 TFLs for that guy. Awesome. 3 rushes, 1 yard. It's not going to get the job done. Ooh, a sack.
We might be looking at the
oh, that's who got him. Nick Jones. He's so good. It's been a couple weeks since he had a big sack. When he gets there, he makes his presence known. He's a good D lineman. Let's do cover 6.
Third and long here, and they hope to convert another one and keep this drive going.
We just don't want him to convert here. I don't care what they do on 3rd down as long as they don't get 23 out of it. Oh! Hit as he threw, yes!
So the stop there on 3rd and
that was
long,
almost
and that's
a
going to
catch,
bring up
too.
a punting situation.
On 3rd down, the defense was expecting the pass, and they defended the play very well in the secondary.
Richard to punt.
Ooh, did not make him miss like I
He just
thought.
got drilled.
Not good. Not good. I don't want to do play action. I just want to run. Tickle My Pickle 1981. Can't wait for the new college football game. I've been talking about it all spring. It's exciting. But it's going to be a couple years. Also, it's going to be weird that it's going to be called EA Sports College Football and not NCAA football. Because their agreement's not with the NCAA. It's with CLC, the Collegiate Licensing Company. So it won't look much different. You just won't see things like college football playoff officially in there. I don't believe. Now, granted, they could probably ink a separate deal with the college football playoff. But I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. That's going to be an interesting one. Because
that's just how they drew it up.
The college football playoff, for example, it's like that's an NCAA sanctioned event versus conference play is kind of slightly separate. Obviously, the NIL stuff can definitely change it if players can start profiting off of their likenesses. Suddenly you can do some group licensing options. But it's, look, as of right now, the game's probably not going to come out till 2023. It's only going to come out on the PS5 and Xbox Series consoles, maybe PC as well. I just don't know, though, how many people are going to buy, especially in this day and age with EA Play and things like that, how many people are going to buy Madden and then a month later or a month prior have also buy this game? That's 2 football games. Oh, Online Dynasty will be great. I think the College Football Ultimate Team is going to be really cool. Like, I can see that being really, really deep.
Across the middle.
Ooh, almost picked.
I like the scheme the defensive
That'll be
coordinator came up with here.
But that's where they're going to put a lot of the effort. Online Dynasty is going to be a mode, but, like, look at how much they've done for Madden's Dynasty mode in recent years. This year they finally did nothing for it, and enough people were outraged that they were like, fine, we'll actually put some upgrades in. But they've only done it, like, smaller upgrades because it was like things were just inherently broken. So Dynasty won't be the same because that's not a money-making mode. That's a mode that people buy the game once and play a lot, and they're not spending any more money. Ultimate Team, they'll spend more money. A career mode is something that it's only like, you know, a handful of hours. That's a little bit different. Not to be, you know, a bearer of bad news, but... So I could see there being random drafted teams, kind of like the, I can't think of what that mode is called, where it's like where it's kind of like you draft different players at different positions, and maybe that's something where it's, you know, it could be kind of neat, where it's, drafting, okay, well, if you want to draft the quarterback in the first round, then suddenly you can't get a good running back because of it. And that could be a neat aspect of it. I can't remember, I think that's called, like, Draft Champions in Madden. I've never played the mode, but I believe that would be some option that could be a mode that would potentially make some money for them and not be just a card collecting mode. I think one thing that will help people buy both games is, yeah, like they used to have you want to export your end of season thing as a draft class to Madden? Sure, and then you can play with it in your franchise. That would be great. But that's also, it's not something that people who are going to do that would have bought both games anyway. So there's that. I mean, you wonder how many people will buy the game, will play the games without ever buying them because they'll just wait for them to go into the EA Play vault. That's what I've done with Madden. That's what I've done with a lot of them. I think I've installed Madden, but I haven't bought it. And why would I if I have EA Play at this point? Because we know in a few weeks it's gonna get onto the EA Play. Offense, let's go! I'll take 2nd and 15, sure. So I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's going to come out on Xbox One and PS4 because they've already said it's not coming out this fall. By next fall, you're going to have probably one more overlap. At that point, because most games take a couple years in development, you know, that are going to be bigger budget games that EA Sports is going to release. So in terms of having a college football game, they can take some stuff from Madden, but the college game is different. They're also going to have to get all 120 some odd stadiums into the game. They're going to have to get a lot of different, like, logos and things, even just the little things for different teams. The way that college is just different, the rule sets. There are certain things that take time that they'll have to just get into the game. And that is going to be stuff that I think makes it 2 years probably until that game comes out. Which means by that point, most people will have migrated. It will not come to PS4 and Xbox One. I can't see that because why would they put any sort of resources in that version of a game that's only going to exist for 1 year? When instead they can put a lot of effort into, and they can't take NCAA 14. There's too much, because part of the problem is developing for PS3 and Xbox 360 is very different than the Xbox One and PS4, and those two consoles are similar to the PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles. In fact, people talk about all the time how terrible it is to develop for the PS3. There's a lot of power in there, but, I mean, there's arguments that the CPU in the PS3 is actually more powerful than the PS5. It definitely is more powerful than the PS4. The graphics card isn't, the GPU isn't, but at the same time, they're not going to be able to take just NCAA 14 and change the graphics because, one, I'm not sure consumers will be okay with that entirely, but also because it's NCAA 14 and because there are a lot of licensing things that are in this game that they would have to renegotiate in order to use them. Like ESPN, for example, with the broadcast and the broadcast team. Or some of the other things would be like just like Gatorade sponsorships here and there that they have. And the fact that it's NCAA 14. They don't have a licensing deal now with NCAA, just with CLC. That's who they originally had a licensing deal with after the O'Bannon rule, when it became very clear that there wasn't going to be any more NCAA football. That EA was like, well, we could make a college football game. Let's just do the CLC. And then that kind of was, there was a kibosh on that. So it never happened. But there was in some form of development, of existence, a college football 15. Wow, 156-1. That's crazy. So that's something to think about with that. I mean, college football 15 would have been similar but different. Like, you wouldn't have been able to say NCAA champions. You are the college football national champions. It's stuff like that. It's if anyone plays either of the soccer video games, that's where you'll see some overlap and similarities. The fact that things that aren't licensed, Chase with the touchdown catch. Certain things that aren't licensed aren't in there. So certain leagues, for example, aren't in one or the other soccer games most of the time because they have exclusivity with either Pro Evo or with FIFA. So you'll see, like it just says like champions or something. So it's that's how they'll get around it, which will make it feel slightly less authentic, but that's okay. College basketball won't come back. I do not see a way that college basketball comes back as its own game. Not a chance. Because college basketball wasn't canned, and those games didn't stop being made because of the ruling that they couldn't make the college football video, like the college sports video games. Those games were canceled because there wasn't enough money in them. They could not profit off of those games because there just wasn't enough of a base. Like, NBA Live wasn't selling well enough on its own, and college basketball games sell worse than that. Not to mention, when you have a sport that people only care about for 1 month of the year, really 2 weeks, 3 weeks, like, it's kind of difficult to sell a video game for a whole year. Now, I shouldn't say never, because there is a way that it could come back based on how well the Ultimate Team implementation is in something like college football. If they can make money off of you, not just when you buy the game, but also from the card packs and a little later, and they get, they can get more money from people, and it becomes a 365 days a year profit thing for them, suddenly they'll consider bringing back a college basketball game. But that's an even larger undertaking, because suddenly you're having to go and capture, how many arenas? Right? Like, that's 350 of them for college basketball? That's a lot. So, 125 football fields is a lot. That's another thing. Like, you have to remember, it's more than just the 32 teams from Madden, and they have to start from scratch because there's no way that their captures, technology's evolved so much, their captures just have to be, something else. EA is not going to make as much money as I think people want to believe. Madden is not as big of a seller as it was 10 or 15 years ago. It's not. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't make the money. The thing is, NCAA football always sold less than Madden by a fair margin. And so it was a smaller team, but even small teams, if you're making this kind of a game, you need a pretty big team for that. So that's part of the problem. Yes, EA's going to make money off of it. They wouldn't be making the game if they didn't think they were going to profit. But they have to. But they can't just reskin the old one or reskin Madden. Ooh, that was so stupid of me to do a bullet pass like that. I should have just done like a softer pass, and I would have been fine.
Somehow to get the football back to their own offense. They need points on the board, and they
but
need
yes,
them
EA's
in a
going to
hurry.
make money. I just don't think it's going to be as crazy because and yes, that's where when you say you hope it's going to be on Xbox One and PS4, where I could see an argument, because a lot more people have Xbox Ones and PS4s that if you're looking to sell the game in year one, which a lot of people will buy compared to year. I thought we were going to get the ball back. If you're looking at just sales in year one, then yeah, I can understand that with the install base. But I would think you'd rather build it up on next gen and really showcase it. Otherwise, people on current gen, look at Watch Dogs, the original Watch Dogs. It's a joke on the 360 and PS3. It's horrifically bad. I mean, it hasn't hurt the series entirely, but that was the welcome to the series. I've not played a single Watch Dogs game since then. I won't, because it was so bad on PS3 when I first bought it. And people can be pissed at EA over Madden, but the thing is, EA's still making college football. They're still the ones behind it. So really, what good is being, you're going to be pissed at EA, but you're going to be like, well, I'm pissed at them for that game, but this very similar game, I'm not going to be pissed at them about. And it's like, you're not, I mean, people who are college football fans, great. Look at the ratings for the college football playoff national championship. Pretty good, probably 20, 30 million or something. A lot. Really high, really impressive. The Super Bowl gets 3 to 5 times that. It's not even close. I mean, just a regular NFL game at 4 o'clock can get that kind of rating. Or Sunday Night Football can get that kind of a rating. I promise you. Like, college football is popular, and it's popular across the country in, it doesn't matter, like, big city or not, because you look like, I don't care about Tuscaloosa, Alabama, outside of college football. I just don't. So that's part of it. But to think about it as another Madden for them isn't going to make sense, partly because of the release. If these games, if they could release the new college football game at right before the college football playoff as a $60 investment, that would be big for them. But they can't, because by that point, people will either have just been like, well, I'm going to keep last year's game, or it's like, who cares? Like I'll wait 6 weeks, and then it's like, it's going to be on sale again. Oh, Washington, you got to catch that, bro. Trying to run up the field before he had the ball. Let's try again. There's 21 seconds. We have all 3 timeouts. Let's see if we can score before halftime. Okay, good. Chases that guy. That's what I want to see here. Oh, actually. Oh, I thought we had that.
This is a well-prepared defense. They know
thought we had that. Well, we'll try it one more time, right? Actually, no. We'll just run the ball so that we can get to halftime and not deal with it all. Oh, it's definitely a surprise. I was not expecting this news, especially now. It seems like an odd time to make this announcement, Super Bowl week. Like, I mean, and I get people care about football, but they don't care about college football right now. I could understand, why not wait till, like, draft week or something? That's just my thinking with it, but
back to return it.
Again, what do I know? Ooh, that's a low liner.
Room around the corner.
Tackle him,
They'll bring him
thank you.
down at the 49-yard line.
We're a little farther away than I was hoping. So, I mean, like I said, they're not making it this year. They've already said as much that they are not going to release a college football game this year. I think it's in pre-production, maybe early production. That's about it. I can't imagine. Oh, no pick. Okay, that's fine. Halftime, great. We're up by 14. Awesome. It's going to be...
Oregon State in front.
There's going to be a lot of fun. I am surprised that EA, their old NCAA football Twitter account, still exists. I'm surprised that they haven't merged their, oh, see, I think 2023 still. I don't think, because you can't make a game that's going to be good and start off a series, especially if you're trying to release it on multiple consoles, in the span of 15 months. There's just no way, or even 18 months. Let's assume that they started it, like, last month and things. Not to mention, everyone's working remotely right now. So even if you use Madden as a base, and you have the new engine and everything, great. For the next gen, you're trying to make two different games if you're trying to release it on both current and old gen consoles, being, PS4, PS5, and Xbox One and Xbox Series consoles. I can't imagine that. This seems to me like a game that would need a 24-month development cycle. September of 2023, I think that's a little later than I would expect it, but I think 2023 is the year that you should be circling on your calendar for sure. No question. It's going to be a PS5 and Xbox Series game pretty much only. Because part of the problem is that the Xbox Series S, while, yes, less powerful than the Series X, one, it can do streaming. Two, it can also do it's still significantly more powerful than even the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. So there's that. July of 2023 I could see. I just don't know if July makes sense. I think what they should do probably is they need to get some more separation between it and Madden. I think when they should do it is, when do people really care about college football the most? Other than college football season. It's not National Signing Day. It's the day of the NFL draft. So if you release it the week before the NFL draft or the week of the NFL draft, that could work out pretty well for you. At least I think so. And the NFL draft is in April this year, so that would be April versus August. So April versus August would mean about 4 months in between. Then suddenly you can have, the special edition of Madden for $120 that comes with college football if you don't have it already. That would be a smart thing, because then you're getting them to buy both games and potentially spend money in both games. April to me makes more sense than July ever did, partly because it was like they weren't even having two-a-days yet. Kids weren't even on campus. And yet, good job holding on to it. Oh, Adams breaking the tackle. Touchdown. Let's go. That was awesome. Quick drive, too. But yeah, so April for college football would make more sense than for, than doing July or whatever it was, because it was usually July was NCAA football, and then August was Madden. Two football games a month apart You're asking people to spend $120 or, with the next gen, $140. That's a big ask for people, especially in times like right now when a lot of people are struggling. So there's that to think about. There's Hello Canadians Fan 90, welcome to the stream. There's a lot to digest with that news. Like I keep saying, EA has a lot to do between now and when the game would release. Oh my god, let's tackle someone. Thank you. And that's why I keep circling 2020. There's no way this game comes out next year. If they don't have anything to show for it. They have a logo. Congratulations. And it just says EA Sports College Football. Wow, there's not really much into that. So, had they shown screenshots or had a trailer, then I would believe, okay, this game could come out this fall or next fall. That's not the case. They're not going to show anything about this game until maybe next year? I don't know, but a lot's going to change. It's a 2023 game. It just is. It has to be.
And he's taken down around the 44-yard
a 2023 game. There's just no way, and it's going to be on PS5 and Xbox Series only because by then, both of those consoles will have sold 40 million units, and guess what? That could be a system seller. Right? I mean, who wouldn't want the, like, limited edition college football themed PS5 or Xbox Series console? Right? That would be cool.
At about the 45.
But that's, I mean, it's a system seller, I think the first version is, the first edition is, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot there. It's not as simple as reskinning Madden or reskinning NCAA 14. That's the biggest thing. So it's going to be a while before we see anything from it, even a trailer or a screenshot. They have to go out and actually shoot these stadiums to get all of the angles, to get all the capture footage. It's going to take a lot of time because that's 125 of them. Not to mention with COVID, it's probably a lot, well, it might be a lot more we did not have a chance on. In some ways it may be easier, in some ways it may be tougher. You know, you can only send a few people, but also the stadium's empty. You know, that's easier to get things. The broadcast. You have to have broadcasters record all new audio. I mean, look who's on the call here. Brad Nessler's not... He's not even at ESPN. He hasn't been at ESPN in years. So there's that. Also, like, you have to realize there's a lot of things that cannot be translated from this game. I think you could theoretically make some improvements to Dynasty mode and really, you know, make the logic a little better and certain things about it. That's good. You can take certain on-field aspects from Madden, but this game is fundamentally different. Oh, I know. I want MVP Baseball back too. Trust me. You know that as someone who streams it a lot. I want it back. I really want MVP back. I just, that won't happen. It won't happen, and the reason we know it won't happen is because look at the show. It's coming out on the Xbox. It may come out on the Switch. That's a massive deal. Come on, Kaplan. Get the first. We got it. Great. I love MVP. If I ever own a PS2 or a fat PS3 or an Xbox, OG Xbox, I'll play MVP the college ones. I will. And I'll probably love it. But, I mean... That's not coming back, unfortunately. It can't. It won't. If EA was serious about looking into baseball and things, they would have inked a deal in some ways. Right. I have every single MVP baseball game ever released. Ooh, that should have been picked. I have a copy of every single one. So I have 03. I have MVP Baseball 2003 for the Xbox and PS2. I have 04 for the PS2, Xbox, GameCube, and PC. I have 05 for the PS2, Xbox, GameCube, PC, and PSP, where it was just called MVP Baseball. I have 06 for the Xbox and PS2, and then I have 07 for the PS2. So I have a copy of the game for every Ooh. For every single console that it came out on. They can't. So when they added college to Madden, that was part of a different licensing agreement for a few schools and for a few little things here and there. Like it was what, 8 schools? If you're gonna have a college football video game, you're gonna have to have 128 schools, more so than just 8. You can't have that and piss off the fans of whoever the heck. That's a problem. You can't do that. So you can't piss off the MAC fans or something, or the the fans in whatever other FCS conferences, the lower conferences, the Group of 5. You can't piss off those fans. That would not be good. So you can't do that, for example. They haven't been working on it secretly for the past few years because a game like that would take a lot of resources and a lot of development time and a lot of development costs, and they're just not going to do that for a game that they may not even be able to bring back, for example, because there may be litigation still that leads to the game not actually ever coming out. Making the announcement is a big deal, but they're doing it now because now people will come out of the woodwork to fight the game. Remember that. So if people are coming out of the woodwork to fight it, it's better to do it when the game's in pre-production as opposed to when the game's almost finished. So there's that. Yes, adding college to Madden is something, but it's not. I mean, is Stanford in the game? Is Oregon State? No. And you need to have both of those in a college football game. For sure. Oh, yes, picked. Let's go. Good stuff. So there's a lot there with the game. I mean, it's exciting. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to sound like a party pooper. It's exciting that there will be a new college football game. But temper your expectations. It's not coming out this year. EA has already said as much. I don't think it's coming out next year. That's just my knowing and reading into different video games and stuff. EA doesn't want to lose money. So they're not going to have secretly been developing the game. That's for sure. Pump it with EA crap. It depends on how they do it, for example. So if you can be like NBA 2K, where they have a lot of money you can spend on virtual currency, but you can still grind out and have a good time in your career mode, or that's mainly for the card collecting mode. The My Team, or in EA lingo, Ultimate Team. That's one part of it. Now the thing is, the EA crap, I get it. Like, they've done some bad stuff, but I don't know that it's been terrible in some of their sports games, especially because there's certain regulations on loot boxes in certain countries. So there's that too. I get it though. Like, microtransactions will be in the game, period. There is not a sports game that releases without microtransactions, not a major sports game. Not that I can think of, at least. I mean, I'm just trying to think in my head, like, what sports game would, I mean, there's Ultimate Team in NHL, right? So PGA Tour 2K has microtransactions. Granted, it's only for cosmetics, but it's still microtransactions because they want you to spend more than whatever the list price is. I mean, think about it. This started back in the generation of this game, NCAA Football 14. It started when this game came out. Remember with the used games when you had to have that code for the online play, or you had to spend $10? EA's always done EA crap, so that's nothing new. It's when they do it to the point that it's like Madden this year, where it's an embarrassment of a franchise mode in Madden. That's a problem. Or when it's 2K in a couple of years, when it becomes so much for VC that it's like you can either pay to win and pay to have fun, or you're going to be stuck for a long time before you can have fun and you've actually gotten enough stuff. But then again, we should be mad at 2K. Not because of microtransactions, but because the current gen version, or the old gen versions of 2K, haven't really gotten any sort of updates. Like, think about it. You can't do Start Today, despite the fact that we're a quarter of the way through the NBA season. Start Today has just not been enabled on the PS4 version of 2K. It just hasn't. Other things haven't been updated in there. That sucks. It's frustrating. But that's what they're gonna do. They're going to try to optimize profits, and if they can get you for $60 up front and then another 20 here and 20 there and 20 here and 20 there, suddenly they've gotten you for $140, and that's a lot more than 60. I've spitballed a lot of different ideas in terms of maybe they do something like putting the game only on EA Play, and it's a little bit of a lesser game. Like when they were considering bringing back NBA Live, Homie P85, the big announcement is that they're bringing back college football video games. EA said that they are going to have an EA Sports college football game coming up. Who knows? Oh, they're going to have in-game ads. They already have in-game ads. They've had in-game ads for years when everything's been sponsored by Gatorade or whatever. I mean, think about it. Even just the broadcast is an ESPN broadcast. That's something right there. But that's a huge deal. Now, it's not going to be called NCAA football, I will tell you. It's going to be called college football. It's not going to be just like NCAA 14, unfortunately. There's too much time that's passed. They did not license with NCAA. So that's another part of the issue. So there's that going against it. I will call a timeout, and I'll kick a field goal here. They haven't announced any platforms. The only thing that EA has gone on the record to say is that they are... Oh, they don't want me going for a field goal? I'm going to do that, though. It's not going to be on Xbox 360. It's not going to be on Xbox One either, I don't think. It's going to be on... My guess is that it'll be on PS5 and Series X. And that's about it. It's not going to be on anything more than that because, first off, it's not coming out this year. That's what EA has already said. And I know I'm repeating myself because some people drop in and drop out. I don't think it's going to come out until... They're going to call it AACN football. No, it's just going to be called EA Sports College Football because they do not have the NCAA license. It's not going to come out this year because the game's probably in pre-production at the latest in production. Think about it. They didn't release screenshots. They released a logo. That's it. A logo anyone can come up with in, an hour on Photoshop if they know what they're doing. That's not so difficult. It's when you start seeing screenshots and trailers, that'll be interesting. They probably have to go through... Switch owners are not going to get it because... Name me an EA Sports game that's come to the Switch. There's one. FIFA. That's it. FIFA is the only one, and guess what? It's been a legacy edition every single time, meaning it was built on the old versions of the game, and all it is a roster update. That's it. They're not going to, trust me, release it on the Switch. It's going to be PS5 and Xbox Series and maybe PC and probably Stadia. That's what it's going to be. So back when NCAA football was a thing, it only came out the last version on PS3 and Xbox 360. It did not come out on PC. Madden went like 4 or 5 years without coming out on PC, and I'm not sure that it has every year of this past generation either. So the game not coming out this year is a good thing because you don't want them to rush it. Because if they rush the game and people are pissed, we're not going to get more games no matter how well it sells, and the newer games are going to be built on a bad foundation. You want them to wait 2 or 3 years to have a really strong foundation. Even if they base it on Madden and they can share certain assets with Madden, my guess is that this game will take 2.5 years to develop. Maybe 2 years to develop, and they're holding it just for the right time. I would hope that EA has learned its lesson and doesn't release the game a month before Madden, and they release it in April, around the NFL draft. So it's April of 2023. That's my guess. As someone who has looked into sports video games, who has done a lot of stuff, yeah, every 2 years would make sense. But the thing is, I've bought NBA 2K in some aspect, sometimes multiple times, every single year since 2K11. So if it was every 2 years, they would only be getting half the amount of money from me. They make more money by annualizing them. That's just a fact. We've thought about and talked about games as a service type things. That's where EA Play comes in. I didn't buy Madden this year. I haven't really played it at all. Maybe I'll download it and play the 10-hour preview, but guess what? In a couple weeks, it's going to be in the vault. So for my $40 a year or whatever it is for EA Play, I get Madden now, and I can play all off-season the Madden game. Great. Wonderful. I will not play the career mode in that Madden because I've heard it's so absolutely horrendously awful. Not worth my time. Not worth my time at all. By the way, if you're new here, please give me a follow. I stream this. I stream MVP Baseball 2005, and I stream NCAA Basketball 10. And I am going to stream some other stuff, newer games at some point. I just don't know. You know, I just go back to the old standbys sometimes. So please give me a follow if you are new here. Also, if you want to find out when I go live, along with, aside from just the notifications, follow me on Twitter. You see that right below the game capture there on your screen. So there's that too. So there's definitely a lot to digest with the NCAA football announcement. It is a lot of good news. Don't get me wrong. I think I recognize that name. If I'm not mistaken, that's Nick, a Division III lacrosse game. So I came about this close to buying the most recent lacrosse video game that came out because it actually got really good reviews. And there is one, it's a pro lacrosse game, I believe, on PS4 and Xbox One. And Bortola, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I would love a Division III lacrosse game. I would absolutely eat it up. It would be so, I would. You already know which team I would play as, and you know which team I would make sure to score like 40 goals on. I think you and I both know that I would pick the Denison Big Red, and I would make sure that Ohio Wesleyan gets embarrassed every single season. Well, and everyone else that Denison plays, of course. But yeah, so good. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it as the dogs start barking in the background. God, we are close, but he is just... I don't know what else to do for this guy. Truly, Utah's coming on close. Man, I miss you too. It's crazy to think both how long it's been since we were in college and also how it feels like it was just yesterday. Like it was, like I mean, granted, I'm back in college, so that's kind of a weird one for me personally, but it's so bizarre to think like, oh yeah, that was 5 years ago, that thing that I did. Or 6 years ago, and it's like, what? It feels like I just graduated like last year, but no, I'm already on to career number 2. And yes, let's go Red. Let's go Big Red. Okay, we sorted by overall. We already have 15 guys committed. Haven't offered you a scholarship. I'm not going to. We did offer this guy a scholarship, and we're barely in the lead. Why not? Why not do 700 for him? Why the heck not? We didn't offer you a scholarship, or you, so I'm not worried there. Okay, we've offered him a scholarship. We'll do that. Chris Martin, why not? Okay, I don't think I've offered a scholarship to any of these awful tight ends. Oh my god, I did offer to one of them. Okay, we're not number 1 with him, so I don't have to worry about him signing. So that's good. And we'll have a lot of points to deal with once we're done here. Let's schedule the visit with this guy, Jonathan Breedlove. Okay. Solid name. Decent player. He's almost locked, which means he'll probably come to us. Do we have any complimentary visits for him? No. Let's do the Washington week, just because he hasn't scheduled any other visits, and I don't think he will. We're so far ahead. I'm not too concerned. So that's everyone ready for visits. Everyone we're in a battle with, we have our max number of points to them. We're in the lead with at least 4 of them, so that's good. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get Terry Timmons, which is a disappointment. 4-star center. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm surprised this guy that we're in a recruiting battle with for a 64 overall corner. What did they see that we don't? Who knows? At least this guy's a gem. That's why we really want him. He's an 80 still, which is very good. So we'll definitely want that. I mean, the recruiting, I will say, in this game is so good compared to what it was a few years prior in the NCAA football games and compared to what it is in NCAA basketball, which is still an EA game, but it's also 5 years older than this one. The way that they do recruiting in that game, it feels like you're just blindfolded and throwing darts, which is not fun. That makes recruiting so much more difficult. Versus this, there's some strategy that actually feels like it can pay off, which is good. Let's upgrade our skill tree here. Oh, it's not ours. It's the defensive coordinator, who's not very good. Do we want to do zone coverage or man and press coverage? Let's do man and press coverage. I'm thinking. That'll be a good call. Yeah, we'll keep the changes. Let's look and see where we are in the rankings also, because we had a big win over a ranked team. Yeah, we have one loss on our schedule, but we have 3 wins over teams that were in the top 5 when we played them, and then 2 other wins against top 20 teams. They were in the top 20 when we played them. So let's look at the top 25 polls here and see where we're at. By the way, if anyone who's in the chat, especially if you're new here, if you have questions, I have covered a lot of things on the NCAA football, the college football game coming back. Drop some questions in the chat if you do have any questions. I am happy to talk about that stuff. This is coming from someone who's written about video games, who's reviewed video games, who's talked to different people with video game companies many times, because I used to, back when I was in college for my college radio show, that I would interview a bunch of people from different companies, including EA. I interviewed one of the producers of Madden and of NBA Live, which remember NBA Live? That was a thing back in the day. Yeah, so that was all that kind of stuff was a lot of fun. So yeah, feel free to ask questions. I'm someone who reads a lot about video games, especially sports video games, so I know what's going on a lot. If you have any questions and want to drop them in the chat, let me know, because I'm happy to answer them before I go and get on with the rest of my day. So, okay, interesting. Iowa moved up from 11th to 5th in the coaches poll because they beat Northwestern. Alrighty. UCF moved up from 9th to 6th because they just won again. I guess because I was undefeated, that's probably why. So 1-loss Ohio State, who we beat, is ahead of us. 1-loss Alabama, who we also beat, is ahead of us. Oregon, soon to be 1-loss Oregon, who we have also, or we will soon beat. Yeah, we did have an NLL video game. Man, I miss the old days, back when it didn't take as much money or resources for the NHL games, or for NLL rather. Like, we had Arena Football, had 2 video games. Arena Football, it doesn't exist anymore. That's crazy. They're not going to put it on Xbox One because despite the user install base, it would take essentially a much lower quality version of the game that they don't want to have to devote time to. That would take time, resources, and money that, yes, it would sell, but it would also potentially take away from the new gen. You know? People still have an Xbox One, but the thing is, people would buy an Xbox Series console or a PS5 for NCAA football. They would. For college football, they would buy it. They may not buy it for Madden because they know Madden's an annualized release. But for the first time in what could be 10 years for a college football video game, people will buy a new console for it. Not to mention, the install base for both of those consoles will be so much higher in 2 years when this game comes out. Because it's not coming out this year, even 1 year from now. I mean, just since November, the consoles have been out for 4 months. I think there have already been like 8.5 million to 10 million PS5s sold, and maybe half that for Xbox Series X's. That's not an insignificant number. Oh, that's an interesting little thing. Totally unrelated to sports, but Jeff Bezos is stepping down later this year from his post as Amazon CEO. He's still like one of the, if not the richest man in the world. Good for him, I suppose. So yeah, we are 10th in the coaches poll, getting no respect despite the fact that, look at our team. We are 7-1. But look who we've beaten. We've beaten Alabama. We won at Ohio State. We beat Nebraska. We won at USC. At Stanford we've won. Yes, the UCLA loss hurts. But I mean, come on. We should be higher than we are, as far as I'm concerned. It is what it is, I suppose. The install base thing makes more sense for a game like FIFA because, for example, if you remember the World Cup in Brazil, that was 2010. That game came out on a bunch of them. I think it was Brazil. Was that 2010? No, 2014. 2014 was the World Cup in Brazil, and the World Cup football game, the World Cup FIFA game, the FIFA World Cup game, that's what I'm trying to say. That came out on the PS3 and Xbox 360, while FIFA came out on both of those and the Xbox One and PS4. The reason being that the install base for the PS3 and Xbox 360 was much larger in a place like Brazil, where they have such large import taxes that it costs hundreds of dollars to buy a video game, a single game. So that's just not... That was why they did it on the old gen games, on the old gen consoles for that game specifically. But it was also a game that really had a value for a month, and that was it. This game will have value for several months, only in the US, where there will be tens of millions of people with PS5s, with Xbox Series X consoles by the time of when I think the game will release, April of 2023. So looking at the media poll, we're 9th. We dropped a spot because of Iowa, because they have, at Illinois, whatever, they're still undefeated. I get it. So they'll probably lose. They may lose. They're gonna lose. They may lose. One of the SEC teams will hopefully lose. Hopefully it's A&M, so we can just for sure jump them. But we need a lot to go right for us in order to make it. Yes, we lost twice last year and made the national title game and won the national championship, but it's not looking as good this year. At least we flip-flopped with Alabama, who we beat. Thank you very much. So we are 9th right now. Would like us to move up, but we'll see. Hopefully we will. I mean, beating Oregon will definitely help our case, and winning our conference championship will also help, because that should be another matchup potentially with USC. Let's look at what the stuff is. So yeah, we would have the tiebreaker over Oregon, so that's not an issue. In the South, oh, interesting. Could it be a rematch with UCLA? That would be kind of cool for us there, but we'll see. It's going to be one of those... Oh, actually, oh wait. I was looking at the wrong thing. I was looking at overall record, not conference record. Sorry. So Colorado looks like again? Really? USC being 3-3, that's not going to help them at all. Okay, yeah, we're only one game back. We don't have to worry about a circle of death there. So as long as we beat Oregon, we'll be in good shape to make the conference title game, and then we'll see. So that'll be interesting. We have our recruiting done. We are not going to play the game at Cal. I'm actually going to wrap things up because I've been streaming for a little more than 2 hours. I appreciate everyone stopping by, saying hi. I really appreciate it. And Bortola, I know that's not how you pronounce your full last name, but that's just your username. I appreciate the follow. Tickle My Pickle 1981, Canadians Fan 90, Homie P 85, and Bortola. I appreciate all of you jumping in the chat and stuff. I really do. It means a lot for all of you saying hi and stuff. I wanted to stream this game because of the big announcement. I really enjoy this game still, and enjoy having this Dynasty mode, you know, that I can go to once or twice a week whenever I am streaming, so I really appreciate that. I may have some time to stream tomorrow, depending. If I do, I will stream probably MVP Baseball 2005, partly because I really want to unlock the secret stuff in the game, which I don't think most people who have played the game know anything about. I looked on YouTube for it, and there's one really grainy old video about it, but I think we'll have a much more interesting version. It'll look a lot nicer and neater and cleaner because we'll have it in a little bit higher quality video, because I think the guy filmed it from his TV, and we'll be able to talk about some of it with kind of what's happened since with MVP Baseball. So that'll be a lot of fun. So that's something to look forward to. It's either going... I don't know which day it'll be that I'm streaming. I'm hoping to stream tomorrow. If not, Thursday or Friday, definitely one of those days I will be streaming. Follow me here on Twitch, and you can get a notification whenever I go live. If you go follow me on Twitter, that's a way to get to find out when I go live, because I tweet out whenever I start streaming. And if you're watching the archive, subscribe to my YouTube page, because that's where I post all the archives along with a bunch of stream highlights, which that's all really cool. So that's all stuff you guys can look forward to. Yes, it's a good thing that college football is coming back as a video game. That's great. No NCAA license means a little bit of concerns, and you have to just temper expectations. It's not coming out this year. EA said as much. It may come out next year, but I doubt it. I think circle on your calendar, just me being someone who follows the industry, who's done interviews with people who are in the industry, who has reviewed games over the years. My guess would be April of 2023. That's my guess. That's my gut. That's what I would do if I was EA, but again, I don't know. I'm not EA, so we'll see what happens. Again, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. We won 2 more games. We're still in the top 10 with our Oregon State team. We'll see the next time we go what ends up happening. But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will catch you next time. Bye!